Alright, what up? In this video, I will be discussing the two arguments which people use as soon as they hear the word homeopathy. As somebody who has studied the art of healing called homeopathy for over 2 years now, and having a brief understanding of the subject, it is only my duty to defend it. It is only my duty to explain this argument and explain an argument against this argument, kind of debunk these two arguments. So as soon as I mention the word homeopathy or discuss the fact that I study homeopathy, I can just see people bursting with excitement, bursting with the childlike joy of being able to tell me that, oh, it's all just placebo, right? That's the first thing. And the second thing is these homeopathic remedies which are used are diluted to the extent that there is no material substance left in it. So it is impossible for them to have any sort of curative effect on the body. That is the second argument. And I will start by explaining the second argument first and then debunking it. So homeopathic remedies undergo a very complicated process of dilution, right? So it's complicated, as I mentioned, so I'm going to try to explain it in the most basic terms. They take one droplet of, let's say, sulfur, which is a remedy, right? They take one drop of sulfur, which has material curative powers, right? They put it into 99 drops of water distilled with alcohol. Then that solution gets stirred vigorously. Then out of that solution, they take one drop, put it into 99 drops of water distilled with alcohol. That gets shaken vigorously. Then out of that new solution, they take one drop, put it into 99 drops, and that process gets repeated anywhere from a couple times to thousands and tens of thousands of times. So the question is, why do they do that? What is the purpose behind it? And the argument is that the process I've just described would be the centurial remedy. That would be the C remedy. And the argument is that with the C remedies, after this process has been done over 12 times, looking at Avogadro's law in mathematics, there could not be any material substance left in this remedy, which means that it could not ever have a curative effect on the human body. And that's what people don't understand about homeopathy, is it is not strictly a physical form of healing. It is an energetic form of healing. I'll explain that very soon. Because people who are used to traditional pharmaceutical companies, traditional drugs, traditional doctors, and the whole, kind of what in homeopathy is called the allopathic approach to medicine, they are only able to perceive medicine as something that is done on the chemical level. Healing can only occur when, something in my body is wrong, and then the doctor gives me a certain pill that has certain chemicals in it, and these chemicals do a certain thing. My body has a physical reaction, a chemical reaction occurs, and that's how healing occurs. Sure, that in the long term, that all causes suppression, which is something I'm not getting into in this video, but people who are used to this sort of thinking, to this sort of healing, they are not able to perceive the fact that healing can occur on a spiritual and energetic level, because there is something about our nature, about the way our existence operates, that is not strictly material. We have an electromagnetic field which the heart produces. We have an aura. We have a certain vital force. We have a certain thing about us that is not simply material, that is not simply, fingers and flesh and nose. You get what I'm saying? We have an energetic nature to us. And the most effective cure occurs on an energetic level. And that energetic healing allows for healing even on the physical body. Now, where was I? This argument that after this dilution there is no more material substance left in it, that is absolutely correct. But there has been an experiment by a Japanese scientist named Masaru Emoto, who has done experiments on water, where he exposed water to different types of vibrations, different frequencies, different sort of emotions, different language, different words, right? And what he found is that water is affected on the molecular level, on the physical material molecular level, just by the vibration or the thought or the emotions which it has been exposed to. Water has memory. That was the first video I posted on my YouTube channel, and everyone thinks I'm schizophrenic now. That's completely fine. That's just something I gotta deal with. But yeah, water has memory, as crazy as this may sound, right? Water gets affected by what it gets exposed to, and that affects it on a molecular level. So this homeopathic remedy, why would homeopaths consciously dilute this remedy, 1,000 times, so that big pharma and people who are of the traditional ways of thinking are able to bring up that argument of, oh, there's no more material substance left in it? Why would they do that? Why would they consciously do that? It is because it is a healing art which is based on energetic healing. It goes beyond the physical. It goes beyond the material, right? Because the lower doses of homeopathy, which still have some material substance left in it, are used for physical complaints. If a child has some, something going on with their nose, ears, whatever, headache, digestive, whatever, then lower potencies are more effective, because there's still some of that material substance left in it. There's still some of that sulfur, that thing in it, But the trouble which people experience in modern times is often already outside of the material. Disease is something which is not strictly material. We have something called our mental state, our emotional state. We have delusions. Delusions are a very important category when homeopathic healing is considered, right? For homeopaths, the delusions or the emotions or how a person perceives things says a lot about their totality of being, about their constitution, right? And that allows for more specific types of healing, more accurate prescriptions. And in order to heal somebody on a spiritual level, which is, a delusion is not physical anymore. A delusion is something that has to do with your subconscious mind, the depths of your psyche, the depths of your emotional states, your past traumas, experiences, philosophy, perception of the world. All those things are beyond the material thinking. It's beyond the, flesh and bones of our existence, which is why it also requires an energetic remedy, an energetic form of healing, a remedy which gets raised beyond the physical. And that's something I did not explain, I think. It's that this homeopathic remedy, as it undergoes that dilution, it just becomes charged energetically. This process of dilution makes it more powerful on the energetic level. That water gets charged, it gets vitalized with the healing vital force of that initial substance. its healing power becomes liberated. The virtuous healing power, which this physical sulfur has, becomes liberated to an energetic level, to higher dimensions, to higher states of matter, which may not be perceivable by the human, rational, material 3D perception. But not everything about our nature is explainable by 3D thinking. There's something beyond this, as I mentioned, this flesh and bones, right? So, right, that is why these homeopathic remedies are diluted. It's because it allows for healing on a higher level, on this energetic, spiritual level. And it all comes down to what patient you're dealing with, right? But the argument is that, as I mentioned, above the 12C potency, after that process gets repeated more than 12 times, there's nothing material left in it. And that is very true. But as I mentioned, it gets charged energetically. It becomes more and more powerful on the energetic level, right? And these higher remedies, these high potencies, which have undergone that process thousands to tens of thousands of times, they have some of the most powerful curative effects, out of all the remedies, because disease is an unbalance is a disbalance of the vital force. It is the whole structure that suffers. It's not an individual thing. It's the whole organism that suffers when there is disease. It's a disbalance of the whole being. And that means that it requires a remedy which is going to heal on the energetic level, on the spiritual level, right? Because that has a direct effect on our physical body. You get what I'm saying? Now, I think that was a decent explanation. I probably could have done it better, but I just got an impulse to make a video that explains exactly that, and I did not really come prepared, but I'm just using the knowledge which I have. And when people talk about the placebo effect and that it's all just placebo, well, that just makes no sense how people would dedicate their entire lives towards studying a art of healing which is strictly the placebo effect. You get what I'm saying? Also, there's an argument that says that it's not, it's a pseudoscience because there's no statistics, there's no evidence to back it up, right? And that is true because it is an individualistic form of healing. It is not, if you go to a traditional doctor with a headache, if 1,000 different people with 1,000 different bodies and thoughts and mental states come to a traditional doctor and tell him, yo, I got this and this headache, he's gonna give the 1,000 people who are all different, unique individuals, they're all gonna receive the exact same pill or the exact same vaccine, and they're gonna go home and think that they've been cured, right? Because their symptoms have been ameliorated. But healing did never occur on the deeper level, on the energetic spiritual level, which is where it needs to originate for the deepest cures, for the internal cure to occur, right? And homeopathy, however, looks at you as the individual which you are. Guess what? There's never going to be another individual like you or me, for that instance. We are all extremely unique. We have our own physical constitution, emotional constitution, delusions, emotional kind of reactions, thought processes. And that all gets taken into account during a homeopathic consultation, which is why the homeopathic consultation goes on from, anywhere from an hour to 2 to 3 hours, because a homeopath wants to know all the details about you, because it allows for the most deep prescription because they understand the totality of your being, the wholeness of you. And the remedy which you receive is specifically for you, specifically for your current state of disease, your current disbalance. And that means that each patient which goes to a homeopath gets treated as the individual which they are, unlike with the traditional allopathic pharmaceutical companies where they consider you as if you are livestock. You're like some animal where, oh, you have this pain, here's this pill. Oh, you have this symptom, take this pill, it's gonna go away. Oh, 10,000 different people enter my office. Oh, they all need to get the exact same vaccine, even though they're all completely different, unique individuals with different bodily constitutions and functions. Makes zero fucking sense, to me at least. So, right. Now, that is why it is impossible to gather any sort of scientific statistics based on homeopathy. It's because each individual gets regarded as the individual which they are. And it's impossible to create a graph or a statistic saying like, this remedy has worked, this percentage of times for these many people. It's because everyone has their own remedy. Everyone has their own remedy at a specific time in their life. It's all very specialized, as it should be, especially when it comes to human health, because you're a unique individual. You require a unique, individualized approach towards your state of being. You're not an animal, after all, who just gets the exact same pill, the exact same vaccine as everyone fucking else. Does that make sense? And to the people saying like, it's the placebo effect, it's a very, very simple argument where it's like, it destroys, it completely destroys homeopathy all in all. It's very simple to say like, oh, that's the placebo effect, and boom, destruction. It's like a atomic nuclear reaction, my friend. Bro, you think this book is all about the placebo effect? You think this is all only about the placebo effect? The inventor of homeopathy, my guy Samuel Hahnemann, that's only about the placebo effect. This, it's only about the placebo effect. Sankaran, this is only about the placebo effect. Don't even worry about it. This, it's only the placebo effect. This, it's only the placebo effect. The science of homeopathy, this is only the placebo effect, guys. What else? This is just the placebo. You don't have to read it. You already know it. Ignorance is true bliss. It is so incredible to say placebo, to say, this doesn't work. This is a pseudoscience. This is it's not backed by big pharma, so it's not legitimate. Actually, it's not legitimate because it's not proven by statistics. Bro, do you understand that the big pharma, which you so rely on, which you so trust and believe in for the statistics, are the same people which do not have your best interest in mind? Do you understand that? These people would rather take billions of dollars every year than to heal you. A healthy patient, a healthy human being does not produce profit, does not create fucking rises and spikes in the stock market of these pharmaceutical companies. Do you understand that? Your health is never their priority. Your fucking mental illness is. Your physical destruction is their incentive, my friends. This entire book, this entire repertory, which features every single symptom which a human being can possibly have, this thing has like 1 trillion pages. But you don't have to read any of it because you're smarter than that. You understand it's all placebo, right? It's so easy to live in ignorance of the fucking universe surrounding you, of our existence, right? It's all just placebo, right? I'm not gonna whip out every single book on homeopathy I have because it would make no sense, right? Me having dedicated a good, year or two of my life towards studying this has all been useless. I didn't need to read any books. I didn't need to do any further research. I did not need to buy courses. I did not need to get, a bunch of books, a bunch of lectures. I did not have to do any of that because I understand how the placebo effect works, which means that I fully understand the healing art of homeopathy. Silly me. Fuck. People these days got no fucking individualized, like, critical thinking no more. I'm not even joking. And that's the thing. I'm not the one suffering because I understand this shit, but just, you know what? I'll just let people do their thing. I'll let people think how they want to think. It's not my job to influence anybody. It's not my job to change anybody's perspective. But what I can do is just give off my opinion, give my kind of input into the world, send that into, the cosmos, and what people choose to do with that information is completely up to them. Because then I don't feel guilty about, the world being messed up. I've done my job. I told them that, the new vaccine which they want you to get is not gonna, I'm not gonna speak more than I need to, but just know that there is a fundamental truth to the nature of this existence, and some things which big pharma may push onto you or may want you to think is real or necessary or this and that way may not be in the best interest. Please develop some critical thinking, develop some sense of identity, allow yourself to be sort of the crazy conspiracy theorist or whatever, because in the end you're going to be the one who actually makes it out and who is able to operate this complicated existence we have, while everybody else operates out of strictly ignorance and delusion. But that's all okay because, you don't have to think when the government has done the thinking for you. You don't have to use critical thinking when the big pharmaceutical companies, which have nothing but profits and not your health in their interest, have done all the fucking work for you. Don't even try to use your brain. It's dangerous. It's dangerous to think. That's how revolutions are able to start. Please, if you have a brain, if you have any sort of spark about you, anything that's alive, any last bit of hope, don't you dare, bring it out. Don't you dare let it shine, because what if, you actually, what if you scare somebody? What if you go against the system? Remain ignorant, please. For the love of humanity. Where did we land, boys? Where did we land? Have a good one.